Hi, money friends. It's Tahira, the Budget Coach. On this channel, we talk about ways to monitor your finances, reduce your expenses, and increase your income. This month, or for the next 2 months, the focus will be on increasing our income. Don't you wanna be free? So, if you are new to this channel, we talk about monitoring your expenses. We talk about budgeting a lot, right? And once you really get a handle on monitoring your expenses, it basically goes on autopilot. And then you continue to do the same thing each and every month. So when you have your budget set up, and you know exactly what's going towards expenses, what's going towards your savings, and what's your free spending money, that stuff is just the same month after month after month after month. And I think we'll jump back into that come January, because during the beginning of the years is when people really try to get a handle on that so that they can excel throughout the remainder of the year. On this channel, we talk about the 50-30-20 budget, where you are allocating 50% towards expenses. We talk about 30% towards your free spending and 20% towards your savings, right? So those are the goals, right? Sometimes it just depends on you and where you are in your life. You can get up to maybe 25% where you're saving and investing, maybe even 50% if you are really in a really good spot. So, again, once you get your budget or a handle on your budget and a handle on monitoring your finances, that stuff is on autopilot, and it's the same month after month after month after month. But you have to have a handle on it. And if you don't, I will definitely be offering some coaching sessions at the start of the year. So you need to get a handle on that. That is the foundation. That is the most basic form of personal finance, knowing where your money is going, knowing how much you are spending and how much you are allocating towards saving and investing. If you do not know that, you really need to check out my one-on-one coaching sessions, because again, that's the most basic form. If you don't have a handle or you don't know where your money is going, you're not monitoring your finances, nothing else is going to work out. So you have to get a handle on monitoring your finances. Again, knowing where your expenses are going, how much you're saving each month, and how much you're spending each month. The basic form. Okay, on this channel, number 2, we also talk about reducing expenses. There are so many times where I have put up a budget and say, okay, so we can cut this here, that here, right? To get to below 50% of expenses. So we talk about reducing expenses all the time. That is the um, always the goal. We never want to overspend in areas. We never want to be spending money that we don't necessarily need to spend, particularly on, these monthly subscriptions that we have. And I'm not even talking about the online subscriptions. I'm talking about magazines for those of you who still get them. We talk about cutting unnecessary cable bills. Some people's cable bills are in 200, 300. Why are you still paying $200 and $300 for cable? I would never understand that, but to each his own. People call me cheap. I cut cable about six years ago. When I said, oh, y'all want to keep raising it? Huh, that's one thing we ain't got to do. We don't even watch that much TV anyway. So getting a handle on your expenses, we talk about that, right? Reducing expenses. And the third main thing that we talk about on this channel is increasing income. But the focus has not necessarily been around increasing income, because you got to know where your money's going. You got to try to get those expenses down. That's the first thing. Then when you can handle all of that, then it's time to increase your expenses. And I know a lot of times people will say, no, once you increase your expenses, once you increase your income, again, let me backtrack. I know a lot of people will say, no, once you increase your income, you don't have to worry about your expenses, but that's not true. As you can see, many articles have come out recently about those who are making six figures and up still living paycheck to paycheck. And why are those people still living paycheck to paycheck? Because they don't monitor their finances and they don't try to reduce their expenses, right? So it doesn't really matter how much you make. It really matters how much you keep, right? That's what that slogan is. You have to keep most of what's coming in, or at least 20% of what's coming in. If not, it doesn't really matter how much you make, because as your income increases, then your expenses want to increase with it, and then you'll still be living in that paycheck to paycheck mindset, and we do not want that. So, what are we doing this month? All right, this is going to be a good month, right? So the goal is to increase our income. And there are a couple ways that I thought about going about doing this. And I said, hey, I want to, try to do this Amazon FBA business that we hear people talk about so much, where they are doing basically online arbitrage, where they're taking items, buying items from China, selling them selling them for a higher price, of course, than what they received them for, and are making a profit. So I was going through that process, and I even set up an online Amazon account and went through that whole process. It was a bit lengthy, and then you have to wait for them to actually certify you or approve you to go ahead and sell online. Once I got online, it was I'm just gonna say it's taking some time for me to actually figure out how it works. I'm not saying that I can't figure it out, but it's taking more of a process. And myself, I might need a coach on how to actually go ahead and set that up, or get that rolling. But in the time being, I still wanted to do something similar, just something that I could really get a handle on and get started, because that's the goal. Like, people always say, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, it's not about what you're going to do. It's about get started and actually do something, right? So I can't keep saying what I'm going to do. I definitely have to make sure that I am on the path or on the road towards increasing my expenses. Um, Increasing my income, not expenses, increasing my income. So that is definitely the ultimate goal. So I want to take you on that journey with me, and I want to take you on that path with me for the next, not even only October. This might extend to November and even December, where we are really trying to make $1,000 or maybe get to $2,000 additional a month through these online businesses. And the only reason why I'm keeping it so low is because this is where we're starting. And it's not about where you start, it's about where you end. So we are going to start at 1,000. Let's say that's the ultimate goal for trying to make an additional money, and then we'll scale up as we go. So I'm going to take you on the journey as I try to maneuver these online spaces and make money in these spaces, right? So that is one thing that we're going to be doing, not only in October, but we're going to extend it out probably through the end of the year. Next thing I want to talk about is, and this is something that I've really been lacking on, and it's probably because of my time, right? With my full-time job, and up until recently, I was working 3 jobs, and that was ridiculous. That's why I have to get a handle on this online business, so that we don't be doing that. No, 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 no. That's not what we're doing. All right, so building strong relationships. It is important, right? We always hear it's not about what you know, it's about who you know. And I have to really get around people who are doing the same thing that I'm doing. I have to get around people who are in the same mindset and are in the same space, or in a better frame of mind, or in a better space than me, because I want them to teach me and I want to grow with them, right? Or um I want them to teach me, I want to grow. Point blank period. So I have to get into these spaces where we are, or I am, learning from people who have online businesses. I'm learning from people who are making far more money than me. I'm growing. I'm growing because I am in these new spaces with these new people. Right now, I'm not really involved in engaging myself with people who have gone farther or done better or who make more. You know, um, I need to get in those spaces. I have to get into those spaces. And the crazy part is, I don't know these people. I don't know who they are. I don't know where they are. I need to um, get with these $1 million own earners because that's my next path in life. Um, we're moving, we're progressing, we're scaling up. We can't stay in the same space. So we cannot stay in the same space. We have to move. We have to grow. We have to build on ourselves. And how do we do that? We have to get in those spaces. We have to get in those rooms. We have to sit at those tables. Otherwise, what are we going to be doing? The same thing day in and day out. And I'm going to tell you, I'm not about that life. I am not about that life. Right now in my life, I'm really living a really comfortable life with where we are right now in terms of jobs, and I'm grateful for being in that space, and grateful for making the money that we make. And I'm not saying that I'm not being grateful, but at the same time, it's time to scale up. It's time to grow up. It's time to do better, right? So now it's not about making the six figures. It's about, how can I make six figures in my bed? That's what it's about. It's not about, okay, going out, you make money, you go to your job every day. But the question becomes, how can you do it while you sleep? How can you do it while you sleep? Somebody tell me, how can you do it while you sleep? That's the question. So I need somebody to answer that for me. I need somebody to answer that for me. Please. So that's where I am right now in my life, and I have to again scale up, be in different rooms, be in different spaces, and I have to do better with that frame of mind and with that sense. So building relationships, that's my goal. So those are my two main goals from now until the end of the year. I need to not talk about it, but be about it. Building online businesses that actually bring in money. That's number one. Number two is, how can I be in relationships, in spaces where I'm growing and learning from people? All right. How can I be in those spaces? I need to get in those rooms. So that's where we are right now. That's where we are right now. And I want to take you on this journey with me. I want to take you on a path with me. I even want to talk to a bunch of people who are building businesses and growing and making money. So that's what we're doing this month. So I hope that you can journey with me on this path, because again, this is not, what is it? It's not a sprint, it's a marathon. We in it for the long haul. We got to make this money. We got to do better, right? So, money friends, I hope to see you next time on one of these videos. So if you enjoyed this content, please like and subscribe, please. And I'll talk to you soon.